The time has finally come to talk about boundaries, and what better way to start than with a story time. Back in high school, I had a friend. This is the kind of friend where you'd only hear from them like once a year on your birthday. You get that birthday text, and then you don't talk to them again until next year for the next birthday text, and so on and so forth. We just drifted apart. It happens, it's fine. No hard feelings, but we're gonna call this friend Sophie. Now, one day, Sophie texted me out of the blue and asked me for a favor. And I naturally was like, sure, what do you need? And she asks me for my pee. Yeah, you heard that right. She needed my pee for a test because she knew that if she used her own pee, she would fail. And she even went as far as to say, I even have a cup you can use and I'll pay you $20. And even though I didn't want to, I very much felt uncomfortable. I said, okay.
We are going to pretend we didn't hear that.
But don't worry, I didn't end up going through with it because I found out that it was illegal. And so I was like, actually, Sophie, I'm not very comfortable giving you my pee. Sorry. I'm so sorry, but I'm not comfortable giving you my pee. And even though that's an extreme example, back then it literally felt like a sin for me to tell people no. I would feel so guilty and I would just overextend myself to make other people happy, even when I wanted to say no. If you're the same way and you have trouble saying no to people or just setting boundaries in general, then this video is for you. Welcome back. My name's Tiara, and on this channel we go up internally and have fun doing it. And the goal of this video is not to change you overnight. You're not going to be like, oh my gosh, I've been reborn. No, I just want you to feel more confident prioritizing your needs. Here's the thing about people pleasing. Boundaries can feel like a foreign concept. People pleasers are always so focused on other people's wants and needs instead of their own. And as a recovering people pleaser, I'm not a pro at setting boundaries or anything. Never claimed to be, but I understand how hard it can be to say no without feeling guilty. Sometimes saying no isn't the hard part. It's dealing with the consequences, like not knowing how they're going to respond or dealing with their reaction, feeling responsible for their reaction.
That was an awful thing to say. Dobby!
Stop! Dobby! Dobby!
Ask yourself why you people please in the first place, because you cannot expect your external world to change if you're not looking at what's happening inside. Think back to a time where you felt obligated to say yes. You felt like you had to say yes in a situation even though you didn't want to. Do you think that your worth is tied to how much you do for others? I used to put other people's needs first because I had fears and scarcity mindset, and then I would pressure myself to keep other people happy at the expense of my own happiness, and then I would feel drained, I would feel resentful, I would feel mad, but then I would just sweep it under the rug
oh my gosh, I have to do this for them, I have to do it. If I don't do it, then that makes me a bad person.
Mr. Krabs, I'm only doing what you said!
And people pleasing doesn't make you weak or a bad person, but I do think that it leads to a lack of self-love and a lack of self-esteem. Think of boundaries like a fence around a garden, okay? Your job is to protect your garden and keep it from being trampled. Your job is not to make every single visitor happy, every single person that wants to come to your garden and step on it and rip out the weeds and throw shit everywhere. Your job is not to stand there and be like, yep, have fun destroying my garden. No, your job is to protect your garden. So if you want to learn to set boundaries, start by accepting that it's okay to have feelings and needs and wants. People pleasers have this mindset where they feel bad for having all those things. But every single person on this earth, every single living, breathing person has limits, including you. So you need to start by prioritizing your well-being. There's a quote from the book, The Strength in Our Scars, that says, "Stop putting your worth in the hands of others. Stop letting them decide your value." I had a situation recently where I started to question my own boundaries. I almost slipped back into people-pleasing tendencies, but then my friends had to tell me, Tiara, you need to be honest about how you feel. If someone's actions are making you uncomfortable, say it. And if their actions persist, if their actions continue and you continue to feel uncomfortable, you need to take action. You need to stop keeping the peace at your own expense. And they didn't say that in those exact words, but I feel like a lot of us people pleasers and recovering people pleasers need that reminder, that little nudge that's stop keeping the peace if it disrupts your own internal peace. If it's not bringing you peace, peace out. I understand that setting boundaries isn't easy, but it's not going to be the end of the world, and it also does not require you to over-explain yourself. Trust me, okay, I've been the queen of over-explaining myself, especially when it comes to things like changing your mind when you already said yes to something. But you do not need to justify your boundary. You need to stand on it with confidence. For example, last week at my job, one of my managers asked me if I knew who I was voting for in this year's election, and I said, yes, but I don't discuss politics at work. That's all I said. I didn't say sorry, and I wasn't confrontational. I just set my boundary, and he accepted it, and we talked about other things. He didn't question me. He didn't say, well, why don't you do that? No, because I was very direct and clear. Do you think that a CEO over-explains themselves in every small decision that they make in meetings? No. Okay, you are the CEO of your boundaries. So that means that you need to be concise, clear, and confident and believe in your abilities. You don't need to justify your decision or your choice, and you don't need to be responsible for other people's reactions. You don't need to manage their reactions. Express your feelings, but also understand that not every single person is going to be able to meet you where you're at, because there's not a single person that has a heart exactly like yours. So if someone isn't able to understand your boundary, that's okay. That's fine. Not everyone's going to be able to get it. And it's not your job to make them get it. Boundaries are beautiful, and they're meant to protect you, not control or fix other people or situations. Repeat that like an affirmation until it sticks, until it feels true. Boundaries allow your needs to be met without feeling guilty, okay? And as someone who had an anxious attachment style, I used to disrespect people's boundaries because I would expect for other people to make me feel secure, but that's low-key manipulative because you are responsible for your own emotions. A boundary is for you. Real security comes from within. If someone isn't able to respect your boundary, it's up to you to communicate your feelings or walk away, not give an ultimatum like,
well, if you don't do this, then I'm leaving. I don't like it when you do that. I'm mad.
Like, bitch, grow up or get out. If you want someone who treats you with kindness and respect and certainty, staying in a situation with someone who disrespects you isn't strength. It's settling. Because a person who actually loves themselves would know that they deserve better, even if that means leaving the familiar for the unknown. A boundary defines your limit. It's how much you'll accept, tolerate, or participate in until you think, nah, this just doesn't work for me anymore. A person worth having in your life would respect your boundaries because they respect you as a human being. They would want you to feel safe and comfortable voicing your feelings. And as a recovering people pleaser, it's up to you to handle your own emotions and feelings instead of relying on a whole nother person outside of you to soothe your anxiety and soothe your feelings and make you feel better. Now, I'm about to give you some big sister knowledge, and if you are older than me, then just pretend that you're not for like 2 seconds, okay? Because your boundaries are not a burden to others. It's not selfish to take care of your needs, and you don't need to apologize for wanting respect. Being assertive is not mean, it's confidence. And don't second guess yourself when you set a boundary. You're not being rude, selfish, or inconsiderate. As long as you are clear and respectful, you don't need to give a full story or justification. You don't need this person's approval because if they don't accept you, someone else will. And before you immediately say yes to a person's request, you need to stop and ask yourself, is this something that I genuinely want, or am I just being accommodating? Am I feeling obligated out of my niceness, out of my people-pleasing? And if they get upset when you tell them you don't want to do it, let them get upset because that's just a sign that they don't respect your boundary. Your mental health is more important than being a people pleaser. And if someone's criticism towards you makes you feel worthless, then you need to work on self-validation because you shouldn't need other people's opinions and feelings about you to make you feel valued. That comes from within. That doesn't come from other people. You shouldn't have to outsource that. You should be able to validate yourself. You can be empathetic without taking on the role of a caretaker, of a savior. Stop compromising your values at the expense of other people's approval. Okay, it's lame. And you're not lame. You need to start trusting yourself. Trusting yourself starts with affirming that your needs are valid. And if someone doesn't respect that, then you need to ask yourself, why would I even want to engage with a person like that? You wouldn't. Why? Because you respect yourself. You respect yourself, and that's enough. If you want to stop being a people pleaser and start setting boundaries, then you need to build your self-worth, you need to build your confidence, you need to build your self-respect, and start getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. Now, at first, I'm not gonna lie, okay? At first, it's gonna be a little bit scary. It might be a little bit awkward. You might be like, can I just talk to you for, actually, never mind. It's fine. We don't have to, it's okay. I'll talk about it later. But healthy connections literally require you to assert your needs. Some of my longest friendships, my longest and healthiest friendships are thriving. I'm talking 10 plus years of friendships with people because we are setting boundaries with each other out of love and respect. Boundaries are not walls. Boundaries are bridges to connect with people. Boundaries are bridges to connection. I think that's what makes them so beautiful, because it's like you're connecting with people better. You're understanding each other better. You're seeing and hearing where they're coming from, and you're able to respect that. It's not a burden. It's a beauty. If this resonated or helped you, please let me know in the comments. And just remember that, like, people pleasing does not define you. Okay, you don't have to be a people pleaser forever. You can set boundaries. You're not doomed for life. It just probably means that for now, your self-worth is linked to external validation, but that can change. You deserve healthy relationships, and you have every right to set boundaries, okay? So go set those boundaries, babe. You deserve it. I'm telling you right now, you deserve it. Go do it. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, prove it by giving it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!
Can you do me one solid favor?
What's up?
I'm on a super tight schedule. So if I can get that shirt in like a bag so I can just come grab it real quick from outside, and then I can like be back on my way.
No! Yeah, I can.